Blessed be everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about how to know if you're a witch. I've done similar videos on this topic before, but it is a question that a lot of people do ask, and there's lots of different ways that you can come into the answer of this. So I thought I'd look at 4 different ways that you can tell if you're a witch. Before we dive in though, I am Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com. I'm the author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path and also the Mystery Witch School Academy. If you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft, shadow work and tarot, magic, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. And if you want to know where to start your witchcraft practice because you're either curious about witchcraft or you think you might be a witch, then take a look at my free masterclass. It only goes for about 30 minutes. It's called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. There is a link in the description field below this video. So how do you know that you're a witch? You may have had people tell you that you're a witch, and I've had this conversation with people in the past where maybe somebody's particularly psychic. You know, you might be very intuitive, or you might be an empath, and you're able to pick up things really easily, or you're almost, telepathic. And people might say to you, oh, you're really psychic, or you're really good at knowing when things are going to happen, or very empathic, so you must be a witch. You could be a witch for that reason. However, that doesn't make you a witch. But a lot of people have the perception that if you are psychic, then you might be a witch, and that's, a possibility. Others might say to you, you work a lot in the garden and you grow lots of herbs and you make lots of herbal teas and sometimes even medicinal teas and even potions maybe for ailments and things. You must be a witch. So you might not necessarily be practicing magic with your herbs in the garden, but the fact that you're in the garden and herbs might be your main thing, and you like to make things with the herbs, sometimes people might think that you are a witch or call you a witch for that. I've heard that happen as well. That could very well mean that, that's part of you being a witch too. You may have had people say to you, oh, you read the tarot cards or you do some other form of divination, so you must be a witch. And there's a lot of tarot card readers out there, and probably a great number of them aren't actually witches. So it doesn't necessarily make you a witch, but it is something some witches do. But really, they might be perceptions that other people have of what witches do. But when it comes to knowing if you are a witch, it's really about having an affinity for what it is that witches actually do. And if you resonate with what witches do, if you feel a sense of that feels like me, or this feels like home, then you're probably a witch. And some of the things that witches do, which is maybe common to pretty much all witches, is we practice magic. Witchcraft's generally more associated with folk magic, so that's sympathetic magic, so working magic in a way that is creating like a circumstance, like maybe a drawing or a spell, working maybe with certain herbs and candles or crystals that sort of reflect or imitate in some way the goal that you are trying to achieve in magic. We call that correspondence or sympathetic magic. And so witches tend to use a lot of herbs. We tend to use natural materials in our magic, whereas in ceremonial magic they'll tend to work more with spirits and angels and that kind of thing. So witches tend to be more earthy and more nature-oriented when it comes to actually practicing magic. So if you like working with herbs and crystals and you like to do magic, which means, influencing change in your life and change in the world in a way that brings more positivity to you, and you like the sound of being able to do that, and light candles and make things happen, then you're probably a witch. And that's one of the main things that we do, is magic, essentially. Another aspect of witchcraft that you may really connect with is our communication with nature. So there's a connection to nature where you feel kind of a sense of oneness with it. So when you're in nature, say at the ocean or in the woods or in a forest, you might feel like this is actually the real world. And when you go back into the concrete jungle of a city, or you're really in that sort of human sort of habitat, particularly in the modern world, where there's a lot of hustle and bustle and mechanical stuff going on and there's not a lot of nature, you may feel that that's not real. But when you go into the forest or the woods or the beach or somewhere and you're really in nature, there's something more real about it. There's something more connected about it. You feel more at home there than you do in the concrete jungle, for example. And it's not just about feeling at home there. There's a sense that there's something there for you and that you can connect to it. It's a part of you and you're a part of it. There's a sense of being able to communicate with it. Like it's almost like it will talk to you in some way, or you can talk to it in some way. You may see animals doing things and get an intuitive sense of a message coming from the way that they're doing things. So a bird might be flying around in certain ways, and you might sense that they've got a message for you. You may be sitting by the ocean and listening to the waves, and you feel that the ocean is talking to you in some way. There are ways that you might be connecting to nature as well. So that's another way that you could determine if you're a witch, because witches do connect with nature, and we communicate with nature. We communicate with the elements such as water, and connecting. It's about connecting. So if you enjoy the magical side of it, you like working with the natural materials and connecting, communicating with nature, and it seems more real to you than the other human constructions, then you probably are a witch. The third way is you know that you have the ability to be able to have more influence in your life than you've been led to believe. So you believe in magic. You know that there's something called magic or law of attraction or manifestation or whatever you want to call it there, and that you have the ability, that there's more to life than just doing what you do in everyday life, that you're not a jellyfish in the ocean. You have some other purpose for being here, and that you have the ability to be able to create more of what you want in the world. Even if you don't know how to go about doing it, you feel that there's more to it, that you are not what the more materialistic world would tell you are, that there's something beyond the materialistic science, there's something beyond all of this obsession with the material world, that there's something beyond that, and that you're beyond that in some way. There's a part of you that's beyond that in some way. And this is something that you know. There's got to be more to this world than what we've been told there is. And having an interest in finding out what that actually is, and resonating very much with the other beings and other creatures and energies on this planet at the same time. The fourth thing is what I kind of just mentioned back there in the third thing, which is things aren't what they seem. Like, you know instinctively there's more than what you can see, touch, taste and smell. You may even be a person who does see things other than what we are told we should see. You may be somebody who does see spirits, or you do see earth spirits, earth energies, various different astral entities or other beings that we're told don't exist, like fairies, for example. You might be somebody who's able to perceive those things. And so you know that there's more to life than what we've been told there is, and that you prefer to look beyond what we're told we should be looking at and to try and see things from a much broader perspective and work with those energies in a way that is positive and working for you, and rather than being limited by this illusion of 3D reality. You're looking for expanding beyond that. Then all of those things together could mean that, you know, witchcraft is something that you perhaps would match or that you are a witch, and maybe you have been in a past life. I know a lot of witches feel that we've been witches before, and that in this lifetime there's a sense that we can be more open about it because in the past we haven't been able to. However, I'm still reticent about that, because things can always change and things can always turn around back to how they used to be. But we all feel that there has been something in our background that we felt this way before. It's like a common feeling. It's like, I felt this before. This isn't the first time I've felt this. And that's what I mean by the feeling or the sense of coming home, or the sense that this is me. It's like you've done this before. You've been here before. It's not unfamiliar. That's what I mean. So if any of those four things, particularly the four of them together, makes sense to you and you're wondering, am I a witch or not, then you probably are. And if you enjoy what witches do, if you enjoy these videos, if you enjoy doing what witches do and learning more about witchcraft and magic, then you probably are. It's like if you are somebody who's interested in dance, and so you go and you do some dance. You might do dance lessons, or you might go out dancing a lot, and you learn more about it because it's something you really, really connect with and something that you really feel you resonate with. Then you're a dancer. So, you know, witchcraft's pretty much the same sort of thing. For witches who are new, or even for witches who aren't necessarily new to the craft but just struggle with knowing how to put it all together, or just struggle having a practice, because it's something that you get better at it the more you do it. And you also, there's a lot of aspects to it, like getting to know yourself more, feeling more connected to yourself as well as to the universe. And that's something that does take practice. There's ways of being able to get that connection happening more, and that's what I teach at the Mystery Witch School. So if you do want to feel more connected to yourself and to nature, to feel more confident in practicing the craft, as well as tap into the reason why you're here, so tapping into your full potential without feeling confused, without feeling stuck, and without feeling that self-doubt, then do take a look at the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy. It's my 12-month course where I take you step by step through the practices of the craft. There's a link in the description field below this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I am Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. Blessed be.